And just like that, the Masters is over. Have you deleted the app from your phone yet, or are you clinging on to some hope that there will be golf at Augusta National today? Welcome to the Fellowship. My name is Adam Hawk. He is Ryan Engle, and right up front, this is your warning. If you tune into this podcast for the frequent deviations from the great game of golf, this is not the episode for you because, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Engle and I have spent the last 4 days glued to our television sets, inhaling Augusta National like a 4-pack-a-day Marlboro Red addict, and there are still some heaters to burn, so you best believe we're lighting up early and often, and we're going to spark one dart off the other. The hardest part about an episode like this one is finding a place to start because there's a lot to talk about. Scottie Scheffler is your winner, his second green jacket in 3 years, but more importantly, he made a crystal clear statement yesterday that he is the class of professional golf. It's Scottie Scheffler and everyone else. We'll get into that. Also, the LIV golfers had a fairly forgettable week. We'll break that angle down. Tiger Woods had a historically great 36 holes and a historically terrible final 36 holes. You know we have thoughts on that. Rory McIlroy's quest for entry into the champions locker room and golf immortality as a Grand Slam winner continues. We'll touch on that. Some huge names missed the cut. Augusta National played like a British and U.S. Open for the first 3 days, and Jason Day stole the show with a sweater vest that has everyone talking. We will touch on those three storylines as well. But let's start right here. Ryan, given the winner, the final score, how the event played out, the television coverage, and the stories that materialized, what grade are you giving this 88th edition of the Masters?
I got to go A+. Augusta, what they can control, from the app to the presentation of the course to the ceremonies after the event to the overall competition, the layout, the sights, sounds, and feels that Augusta has their thumb on. It's an A+. Augusta just doesn't miss. They're just too good. Man, what a great week. Love this tournament. Love this week. Sad it's over.
I agree. Sad it's over. I'm giving the 2024 Masters a solid B on the whole. I think for the first time in a long time, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday were far more entertaining than Sunday. Masters Sundays are sacred and special, a holiday of the highest order in the golf world. But this one, thanks to the incredible play by Scottie Scheffler, was over by Amen Corner.
Time out, dude. If Scottie Scheffler had a red shirt on and was fist pumping, you would be on your knees bowing down. He played like Tiger, but you fanboys out there cannot accept the fact that someone else can do that. He played exactly how Tiger did in 2019. Everyone freaked out about that. But Scottie does it, and all of a sudden it's a B. That's just fanboy syndrome talking, dude. You got to appreciate the guy. He hits it through a tire in the most pressure situations ever. Guy hasn't shot over par this year. I'm talking the players. Bay Hill plays like a U.S. Open now. And Augusta in the toughest conditions we've ever seen, and he hasn't even shot over par this year, and you're going to give it a B because he ran away with it and he outplayed everybody? Wow.
Scottie kept his foot on the gas and broke out of a 4-way horse race to run away and hide with the golf tournament the entire back nine. No one would get closer than 2 shots the rest of the way, and while that is incredible for Scottie and his legacy, it really took away from the drama. So I give it a B. The first 3 days were an A+. I love the carnage, but Sunday was a C, and that averages out to a B for me.
Horrible take.
Our 5 winners and our 5 losers from the Masters. Obviously, Scottie is the winner, but I want to dig a little deeper here and talk about who and what had a really great week and who and what had a really bad week. Engle, let's start with you. Give me your 5 winners from this week at the Masters.
My 5 winners. Augusta National Course Maintenance Crew. My God.
The unsung heroes of golf.
I'm sure maybe it's benign to a lot of viewers, but for those of us who know how hard it is to keep a golf course that pure and how much a true player can appreciate something like that, that place, it's a different level. It's a different world. Augusta National Course Maintenance Crew, #1 winner of the week. Amen Corner. Most of these courses, like the bear trap, the snake pit. It's all kind of gimmicky. Amen Corner's just there. It's the same every year. They know those holes are coming, and look what it does. Look what it did on Sunday. Those holes are just so beautiful and so hard, and they require such precision and have to navigate it just right. Next, the Masters Tournament Committee. They're so polished. The reason why we're watching and the reason why the grounds crew's making the course that good and the reason why the people advertise and the reason why CBS has the coverage and the reason why the Masters is so great is because the tournament committee puts on a tournament that's better than everything else in the world. So they got to get some credit. And now that I'm learning and knowing more about what that kind of stuff takes on the back end, when I see a product come across that good, I'm just wowed by what I know an enormously talented team works so hard to put together. It's incredible what they do. They're the best, and it's not even close. Fourth, this is just, to me, the most genius thing they've done in a long time. The taste of the Masters. The fact that you can order the kit, and it comes in, and it's got little keepsakes, and you see in all these brands and people doing it and having their little Masters party. What a genius idea, and they execute it to perfection. It ships. It's packaged correctly. You get it. There's a nice little card in there. I mean, they're the Mount Rushmore of golf, dude. And then lastly, obviously, Scottie Scheffler. This is what's interesting, I think, about Scottie Scheffler. In today's day and age, in society, entertainment, sports, and more specifically golf, he's kind of the heel.
The heel?
Yep. He's a man of God. He's hardworking, honest, humble, quiet, gets it done. He's a family man. He's everything the entertainment and sports world hates nowadays. He just goes out there, doesn't have social media, and he's just hitting it through a tire. And I got to say this right now for everyone, big Scottie Scheffler guy. Big Scottie Scheffler guy. Ryan Engle, you heard it here. He might be the next all-time great in golf. He's unflappable. He doesn't get up. He doesn't get down. He just gets up and down when he needs to. And you love to see it, Adam.
Great list of winners. Thank you for that. My winners, my 5 winners from the Masters. The PGA Tour is my biggest winner of the week for a couple of reasons. Thanks to Scottie Scheffler, it is now abundantly clear that the PGA Tour has the best player on the planet, and it's not even close. He dusted Jon Rahm and Brooks Koepka. He had no issue whatsoever holding off Bryson DeChambeau and Cam Smith. All players in the top 5 were tour guys, and 8 out of the top 11 finishers are proud card-carrying members of the best circuit in pro golf. So this was a great week for the PGA Tour to settle the debate about where the best sticks are.
Next.
Because as of April, the best players are on the PGA Tour.
I knew that your picks were going to scratch your own back for your own beliefs, but keep going.
Top winner, the PGA Tour. My second winner, again, thanks to Scottie, is his looper, Ted Scott. It's not just that Ted Scott is carrying the wrenches for the Masters winner, and it's not just that Ted Scott has the easiest job on the planet because his guy has every shot and doesn't need any help. It's that Ted Scott is a millionaire quite a few times over, and without looking, he's probably top 25 on the money list, and he doesn't even play. That guy is a massive, massive winner this week and every week, and I just saw that he has made so far in the last 4 starts for Scottie Scheffler $1.2 million.
Did you see that post of his I DM'd you?
The Sunday sermon before the Masters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ted Scott rules.
Yeah, great guy.
Great guy. Good pick.
Speaking of caddies, my third winner, Jim Bones Mackay. Sure, he didn't make any money this week, but he didn't lose any either. His former boss, Justin Thomas, shit-canned him right before the Masters and then went on to play his final 4 holes on Friday at 7 over par to not only move the cut number by himself, but miss it as well. So congrats to Bones for not having to schlep the bag for that disaster and then pay for an early flight home. My fourth winner, Tiger Woods, a big winner in my book this week. Dude showed up to the yard after not playing any golf for the longest time, easily made the cut, set the record for most cuts made, got to walk around Augusta National for the 99th and 100th time in his career. Sure, he took a massive growler down his leg over the weekend, but he was there, and that's more than Justin Rose, Zach Johnson, Sergio Garcia, Justin Thomas, Nick Dunlap, Wyndham Clark, Victor Hovland, Sam Burns, Brian Harmon, Jordan Spieth, Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, Gary Woodland, and Nick Taylor can say. All those guys missed the cut, and that's something Tiger hasn't done in damn near a quarter century of playing the event. Huge win for the cat this week. My fifth and final winner, the Masters app. My goodness, you want to talk about perfection? The Masters app, which holds the record on my phone as the most downloaded and deleted app of all time. It just gets better and better every year. Not only can you follow every shot from every player in crystal clear HD right to your phone, but you can turn off the horrible broadcasters who seem to think they're getting paid by the word and won't shut the hell up.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
And Engle, you showed me this feature. It's called, quote, natural sound.
And could they have picked a better title for that?
They do everything perfect.
They're the best.
It's called natural sound, which means you aren't muting the telecast, you are muting the broadcaster. So it's just pure acoustics and crowd noise and golf shots and wildlife and wind rustling through the Georgia pines. And it, folks, quite simply, is sonic heaven. Those are my 5 winners. Let's get to your 5 losers from this week at Augusta.
Number 1, ESPN. They are trash. Just give it to CBS all 4 days. 2, I'm not afraid to say it. I'm sure he's a nice guy. This is nothing against him personally, but personally, you had a negative impact on my enjoyment for this great event. Colt Knost as a commentator needs to go. I will be shocked if he's invited to do this again next year. Thank the Lord for natural sound, because you'll love to hear it. We'll go 4th, pace of play. Don't come at me with your low-hanging responses and rebuttals to this take. There's a lot on the line. Have you ever played for that much money? It's the Masters. Oh, the wind was up. All true. I agree. They're just taking their sweet-ass time out there, and 6.5 hours to play a threesome. It's so ridiculous. And the biggest loser, Tiger Woods. He's in no shape to win. And even acting like that, I think, is taking away from his legacy, because he is on the Mount Rushmore of golf. He's an all-time great, no matter what you think about him. But he's done. He might win a tournament. He might get Snead, but he's not getting Jack, and there's no way he's winning another major. He can barely get through 4 rounds. The guy's sweating through his shirt in 65-degree weather at 11 o'clock in the morning. He's hobbling around out there, and by the end of the week, he's lost his short game because he's physically done. I would rather see him there celebrating his greatness with the fans. Be the true ambassador we need you to be. This serious guy just struggling, and it's hard to watch, dude. It's tarnishing all those great memories. He needs to switch gears. Like Arnie and Jack, when they were late in their career, they had the biggest galleries, and they were shooting the shit, making people laugh. It's time for you to chop it up with the fans. Lighten up a little bit. And I know everyone's going to be like, he has lightened up a little bit. I mean, come on, dude. He's out there fucking grinding. That looked painful. It was hard to watch.
Thank you for that. My 5 losers. My number 1 loser for the week, my family. For obvious reasons. If I wasn't watching the telecast demanding library silence, I was on my phone reading coverage, listening to recap podcasts, or texting you, Ryan. And on Friday, we hosted a Masters viewing party that went from 6 in the morning to damn near 6 o'clock at night. So it was a tough weekend for my wife and kids, who couldn't care less about golf, but had to watch me watch it. Another loser this week, my diet. Up until this past Friday, I had gone over 2 months without carbs, sugar, and alcohol.
Hey, but how was that Wonder Bread?
Pretty good. And on Friday, we ordered a taste of the Masters. And let me tell you, folks, I had a few tastes of the Masters.
Didn't we?
Here's the final count. 2 beers, 3 Diet Cokes, 4 sandwiches with bread, and 1 chocolate chip cookie. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but when you've gone 60-plus days with none of that food, it takes a punishing toll. And now I need to do some housework because my farts Friday night were peeling the paint off the walls. Just straight up eyebrow singers. My home smelled like McDonald's during breakfast hours.
Oh.
And I apologize to my family and my gut health. My 3rd loser for the week, Greg Norman and Live Golf. Coming into the Masters, everyone was flapping their gums and running their traps about Jon Rahm and Brooks Koepka and Joaquin Niemann. And those guys combined to shoot 22 over par. 0 top 20 finishes between those three. Yes, Cam Smith and Tyrrell Hatton played well, but those were backdoor performances. Coming from the middle of the pack on Sunday to backdoor a couple of top 10s and still finish 9 shots behind Scheffler is nothing to brag about. And Bryson played his final 54 holes at 5 over par and faded away after his opening bogey on Sunday. No one from LIV threatened to win or put any pressure on the leaders. And Greg Norman walking around Augusta telling the media that hundreds, hell, thousands of people stopped him to tell him what a great job he's doing and how much they love LIV Golf is one of the best, if not the best Donald Trump impressions I've ever seen. So it wasn't a great week for LIV, and it's not like they get to run it back this week at Harbour Town. They have to wait until the PGA Championship to measure themselves up against the tour players again. My fourth loser of the week, Wyndham Clark. Sure, a gaggle of top-tier players missed the cut, but Wyndham Clark was running his mouth after the first round when he shot a 73 and Bryson shot a 65, and he said, quote, "Yeah, we have 54 holes left. At LIV, they only play 54 holes, so I like my chances. We've got a lot of golf left. Bryson shot 7 under. I could do that tomorrow," end quote. That is an all-time bad take, one of the worst and dumbest I've ever heard, because Brooks and Phil finished runner-up last year, and they play on LIV. Then Brooks went and won the PGA Championship a month later. Clearly, guys who only play 54 holes can win 72-hole majors. Also, Wyndham himself won a 54-hole event this year when Pebble got rained out. So, dude, look around and maybe, I don't know, shut the hell up.
Aren't you getting like, hey, bro, calm down kind of vibes from him?
100%. The self-awareness was at an all-time low, and the very recent historical context seemed to totally escape him. And how did Wyndham back up his asinine comments? That same guy who said he could go out and shoot 7 under the next day shot 6 over and missed the cut. I get that Wyndham Clark is a nice guy and he's done the work on his mental game and he's had a grip of high-level success the last 18 months. But, dude, this is your first time at the Masters, a place a bunch of LIV guys have played really well over their careers. And last year, too, you're coming off a 73, 8 shots back of a LIV guy. How about zip it? My final big loser of the week, Sunday Red, the new apparel line from Tiger Woods. It debuted in January. We had to wait until April to actually see it on Sunday. And his whole week in the Sunday Red wasn't only very forgettable and bland and not at all different from what he wore with Nike, but he got upstaged by Jason Day and Malbon Golf. Now, whether you liked Jason Day's fits or not isn't the point. The point is, I'm pretty damn positive that the folks at Sunday Red didn't think they'd be losing a battle of the apparel headlines to Jason Day and Malbon when they signed Tiger Woods back in January and gave him his own clothing line. Rory McIlroy, another trip down Magnolia Lane, another year where he leaves with an empty hanger in his closet. Everyone knows, no more than Rory himself, that this guy is a Masters win away from golf immortality. Not only would it be his first green jacket, and not only would he achieve the golf Grand Slam, but he would snap the 10-year drought without a major. There can't be a single human being with more pressure to win at Augusta than him, and he just can't do it. This time, a very middle-of-the-road T22 coming up an entire 15 shots off the mark. He's 34 years old. He hasn't won a major since he was 24. He probably has 20 more decent chances to get one, 3 this year and 4 more every year until he's 40 when his game will undoubtedly decline. Will Rory win another major?
Anything's possible, and obviously his game, for the most part, is still good enough to do so. I heard this on another podcast this weekend. Rory will go apeshit as far as golf is concerned for like 2-3 months. He'll just have like a fucking crazy couple of months of performance. John Rahm, same thing. He'll just play some apeshit golf, right? Scotty's been playing apeshit golf for like 3 fucking years in a row. So you got that guy to beat. I think at this point, Rory's at that stage where it's been so long and he's failed so many times that the monkey on his back might just be too much to bear. I don't know if he's going to do it.
Some massive names missed the cut this week. Justin Thomas, Nick Dunlap, Wyndham Clark, Victor Hovland, Sam Burns, Brian Harmon, Jordan Spieth, and Dustin Johnson, just to name a few. Of those names I just listed, who surprised you the most in not making it to the weekend?
Honestly, none of it. Augusta is hard when it's perfect outside. and you add some weather, two things. It shows how incredibly hard golf is, as well as Augusta, but it also shows how far ahead Scotty Scheffler is. That place played tough and long. You put a little wind in your face on some of those long par fours, and it's like, dude, these guys are laying up. They're taking head covers off. That's crazy, bro. That course played so tough, so I'm not surprised at all. I knew that there was going to be a lot of guys missing the cut. I'm just bummed that my boy Victor Hovland ate $100 out of my pocket because I was looking like I was bringing $3,500 to the powwow this week.
Let me answer that question. Who surprised me the most missing the cut? JT hasn't played well in 2 years and made a caddy change right before the Masters, so I'm not surprised. Nick Dunlap and Wyndham Clark are first-timers at Augusta, so missing a cut isn't crazy despite their recent good form. Victor Hovland is allegedly soul-searching with a new coach and new swing every week, which is crazy to me given how insanely dominant he was last year. But I can understand a missed cut in the middle of an existential golf crisis. Sam Burns, whatever. Brian Harmon, I thought a lefty who was the most recent major winner and who played well at the Players would have made the cut.
Yeah.
That's surprising. Dustin Johnson is a past winner at Augusta, but has openly admitted he doesn't try as hard anymore.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. So for me, it's got to be Jordan Spieth. This guy went on a run where he could have won the Masters 5 years in a row, and he loves that track. To shoot 79, 74, and miss the cut by a handful of shots is the most surprising to me.
That's surprising for sure.
I do want to say this while we're on the subject of surprise. Are we really surprised that anything at the Masters is surprising? What I mean by that is this. We all fall into the same trap of thinking we know what's going to happen, and we make predictions, and we fire off tweets, and we jump into betting pools and lay down cash, and it all goes up in smoke after Friday. Sure, Scotty was the favorite, and he paid it off in spades, but if I told you before the week that Vijay Singh was going to make the cut and Jordan Spieth wasn't, no one would have believed me. If I told you the wind was going to turn Augusta National into St. Andrews and 7 under was going to lead the tournament after 54 holes, you would have called me crazy. If I told you Brooks Koepka and Jon Rahm would each fire a 9-over and not have any televised golf shots on the weekend, you would have bet the house against me. The point is this, Augusta National always wins. You can't predict anything. Trying is fun, but it's a first-class ticket to looking really stupid on Monday, if not earlier.
So well said. That's what's so special about it. Those years that we had someone win that maybe we didn't want, like Immelman, Schwartzel, and Willett. Yeah, in the moment it's easy to be like, oh, God, that sucked, but it kind of didn't suck. It's kind of amazing. Talk about unpredictable.
Well, the time has come. Sweatergate 2024. For those that missed it, and we know none of you did, Jason Day made headline news this week at Augusta National, not for his play, he shot 5 over and finished T30, but for his outfits. Excuse me, man children, for his drip. As of earlier this year, Jason Day, the 36-year-old Australian golfer, just synonymous with edgy fashion, made a switch from Nike apparel to Malbon Golf. This would be like if your Costco dad, who wore basic lawn mowing clothes every day, all of a sudden one day came down to the breakfast table dressed like Chad Muska. That's not to say Nike makes dad clothes, but they do make very basic, very vanilla, usually non-offensive garb. And it's also not to say Malbon makes Tony Hawk Pro Skater clothes, but they do intentionally occupy the 90s baggy look. Mainly, my comparison is to illustrate the absolute stark difference between Nike and Malbon and why Jason Day is drawing so many eyeballs. This isn't exactly a 20-something newcomer who spends his time away from golf in line at Supreme waiting on the newest drop. It's Jason Day, a family man, mama's boy with vertigo. But credit to Malbon for signing him. It wasn't long ago that Malbon was toiling around Instagram with the rest of us trying to get a golf brand off the ground. Now they're on tour with one of the best and most famous golfers, and they're at Augusta National in the feature group with Tiger Woods. Unreal opportunity, unreal break, good for them, sincerely. Now, on Thursday, Jason Day decided to slip into a nice, comfortable pair of yacht sails that Malbon calls pants. Those flapping banner flags were panned across traditional media and then predictably defended to the death by Golf Instagram because Golf Instagram knows best. And while they champion open-mindedness, if you dare cross them and don't fall into line, they will record a video about you from the front seat of their car, and they will call you old and out of touch, and they will cast sweeping generalizations about what you must like to wear and what you must like to listen to and how you must vote, blah, blah, blah. Quite simply, folks, the pot will call the kettle black. On Friday, still in a featured group with Tiger Woods, Jason Day wore a cream-colored sweater vest with black piping. Not going to lie, I loved the vest. Loved the color combo, still do. However, the vest was adorned with a gigantic logo across the stomach, and when I say gigantic, I mean the damn thing was a jumbotron at a baseball stadium. And in size 10,000 font in big bold letters, his sweater vest read, Malbon Golf Championship. We'll get to why that particular message isn't up to code for the Masters, but the story here that stole all the headlines was that between finishing his first round and starting his second round, Augusta National asked him to please remove the vest.
Love to hear it.
And he did. The fallout was predictable. Golf Instagram and the dripster scene rushed to their phones to pledge allegiance to their Lord and Savior Malbon Golf. And then Malbon Golf decided to repost every single story from a Google search they did on themselves, almost like they were proud of getting slapped on the wrist by the Green Jackets. I have my thoughts, but first, let's hear from Ryan Engle.
Malbon Golf. Malbon. How the fuck do you want me to pronounce it? They were the big winner at Augusta this weekend. You know why? Because Malbon Golf, they're a marketing machine, folks. Those pants, that vest, those are going to be talked about not for what they're made like or how they're made. It's for what they say on it. That vest was nothing more than graphic design. That wasn't fashion. They're just trying to get us to talk about it. And look, here we are talking about it. What a major accomplishment, Adam. They started just like any of our brands in this golf space, and they're at Augusta sponsoring an athlete. They made it. They did it. That was their big moment. Just getting that opportunity is a major accomplishment, and Malbon did that. They made it to the bigs. But in that debut, they make it about engagement, buzz, and clout chasing. Here's an idea. Maybe design something that showcases you as a true clothing atelier. You know, with creativity and design, do it the right way. The vest, there's nothing special about it. That's not fashion forward. That's graphic design. The vest is cool. The colors were cool. It would have been cooler if it just had the Malbon script logo on it with those two colorways. That would have worked. You didn't need to steal the show with some god-awful graphic. They went for the clickbait, the low-hanging fruit. They wanted engagement. They wanted to trend on Google. They wanted that. And poor Jason Day, in the interview where he's confirming that they asked him to take it off, he says in that interview, I didn't pick that stuff. They tell me what to wear. They picked that stuff for me. So before you start giving Jason Day his flowers for being this fashion guy, he's just opening a box with instructions. They knew what they were doing. They knew it was against the player appearance guidelines for Augusta. They're a buzz brand. They're a marketing company. They've created nothing that has shown any staying power. It's all flip-flop fashion, chasing the next current thing, and they're damn good at making their following feel the pressure to pull the trigger. It's cult-like, which is why it's so cliche that it's for the culture. I heard one know-it-all, and maybe multiple media accounts say this. Malbon's bringing 90s fashion back. First of all, that vest and those pants, that is not 90s. It's nylon rubbish. Poorly made, bunchy waist, belt holes, mesh outer cargos, tie-down straps on the ankles. And by the way, 90s is a mainstream trend right now. Malbon isn't carrying this movement. They're jumping in the pool. Target has 90s ads throughout their store with marketing material that literally says, quote unquote, 90s. Target. Not to mention, their recent looks are all biting Cole at Metalwood Studio. He's been on the 90s look for a long time. He's been doing the 90s look while Malbon was collabing with Nike Dry Fit Clouds. Malbon should be making a public and formal apology to Augusta National Golf Club. You know, the club that created the prestige and status of this event by just that, creation. In this world, there are creators and there are takers. Using that moment to chase buzz was not marketing genius. It was just a brand on the take. That's it. They rode Bobby Jones' coattails and all the other actual golf legends' backs just to sell out of a $250 sweater vest with 300-point font. If you think that's drip, you just said, "I'm a sheep," out loud. But that's the world we live in now. Instead of manning up and making a proper apology, the golf world says the opposite. Augusta should be ashamed of themselves. Golf needs changed. What a marketing genius. They need to lower their dress code standards. Dude, you just wore black to Wimbledon. You want to change this game? Change the dress code at a major? Go get a shovel, move some dirt, and create something for once. Like Bobby Jones did.
I like the vest, minus the giant logo that said Malbon Golf Championship. I love the look. I love the colors. The logo should have just been the Malbon M, like you said, appropriately sized on the left breast of the sweater, and it would have been a home run. The reason the logo is problematic is twofold. One, you can't be promoting a fake golf tournament at the golf tournament, no matter how cool and drippy the internet thinks it is. The Malbon Golf Championship is not a real event. But whether it's real or not doesn't matter. You're at the Masters, not the Malbon Golf Championship. I'm telling you right now, if that gigantic logo just said Malbon Golf, there's an outside chance Augusta National doesn't ask him to take it off. But you can't promote a fictional or non-fictional event at their event, especially not in that size font. But the more important reason you can't have a logo that big is that it infringes on being a billboard. Because at that point, you're really just a human-sized advertisement. And you might ask, what's wrong with that? These guys wear all sorts of brands on their clothes. Why can't Jason Day support his sponsor? Again, it's not about the sponsor. It's about the size of the logo. If Jason Day was sponsored by DraftKings or any of these stupid online betting books that are ruining our society and feasting on the bad habits of poor people, you'd have a problem with it. Imagine someone wearing a giant Viagra logo or Hims logo that took up their entire upper half. Any logo, really. You can't do it. It's a horrible precedence. If TaylorMade or Callaway or Nike see that Jason Day can do that with Malbon, next week every single tour player is going to show up looking like a human billboard. Because why wouldn't every brand make their logo bigger if Malbon and Jason Day can do it? It's a precedence thing, not a Malbon thing, not a fashion thing, not Augusta being stuck in their ways thing. It's really not that hard to understand. If you think Augusta is the fashion police, then you clearly didn't see all the live tools looking like they just got out of their fantasy football draft with all their own gear for their made-up teams. Augusta is not policing fashion. Just ask Sergio Garcia. Augusta is policing blatant line crossing and precedent setting, period, full stop.
Yep.
And I know all you streetwear guys are brand new to golf, but a few years ago, Gary Player's son showed up to the ceremonial tee shot and held up a branded sleeve of golf balls in plain view of the camera for some free TV time for his sponsor. That idiot has been banned for life. He's the son of a 3-time champion, and he's not welcome back ever again because he turned their event into a commercial. Again, I know that being aware of golf pre-2020 isn't a thing for Golf Instagram, but I'm here to help. Next, if Malbon and or Jason Day knew or had any idea that this vest was against the rules and it would cause a stir and create an unreal marketing opportunity, and they still went through with it at their first Masters together on golf's biggest, grandest, and most sacred stage, then that is honestly deplorable. If they knew they were crossing a line and still crossed it anyway because the reaction was worth 7 figures in marketing, then shame on them. And I mean that in the most literal sense. Shame on them. How dare anyone anywhere use Augusta National and the Masters as a platform for sales? This is the Masters, not a meme page. This place and this event are built on the backs of legends. Save that look at me attention grab for the Waste Management. Again, I'm only saying this if Malbon knew it was against the rules and they still did it, because that's so lowbrow and classless if that's the case. That's like streaking naked through church and high-fiving your getaway driver because of all the attention you got. Next. You can't love the tradition of the Masters and be mad about them asking Jason Day to remove his vest.
Great point.
You can't love the no cell phone rules or the caddies wearing all white and the champions dinner and the green jacket ceremony and the food prices that never change and be mad about the vest removal. The Masters is tradition and traditional. Everything everyone loves about the Masters comes from the fact that they have rules and they don't break them. Nothing changes, and no one is above the rules. The reason the Masters feels like your old, favorite, worn-in baseball glove is because it is. Imagine if 88 guys showed up next year with a logo from their waist to their neck. Would you like seeing that? Or did you only like it because it was Malbon, the disruptor, the cool kid, the trendsetter? Do any of you hear yourselves? Do any of you think about any of this? Does anyone play out scenarios or understand preventative action and rules and why they exist and why they end up making things great? The worst part is this. Your argument says that your opinion is more important than Augusta's, more important than the Masters. You're telling a private club how to run their business. Do you know why Jason Day took off the sweater right when he was asked? Because he knew they were right. Quote, I took it off because it's all about the tournament here, and I understand that. I respect the tournament, end quote. And finally, all these fanboys caping up for Malbon. Your defense tactics are as transparent as they are bulletproof. If anyone dares to disagree with you or side with Augusta, you're ready to thumb out some comment on how we don't get it or tell us, you're playing right into Malbon's hands. You're doing their marketing for him. The joke's on you. No one can win with you guys. Not because you're smarter or cooler or hipper or streamed more hours of New York Fashion Week. No one can win with you because you refuse to listen to nuance, refuse to listen to reason, refuse to acknowledge that rules are in place for the greater good. You refuse to hear conversations as anything other than criticism. I liked the vest. I like Jason Day. I am extremely happy for Malbon and their success, and we are striving to get half as far as them with Nation Golf. But I'm also mature enough to hold two thoughts in my head at the same time. I liked the vest, but it had to go because the logo set a bad precedent. If they allow that logo, they open up the door for every brand, for every golfer to turn Augusta National into a commercial. They are not policing fashion. They are not sitting in Butler Cabin, handpicking what they like and what they don't like. This isn't about fashion. This isn't about Malbon. This isn't about whether you like the vest or not, or whether you're going to the internet to spend $250 on it. This was about breaking player apparel policy. Period. Full stop. I want to tell a quick story, and it relates to what we're talking about right now. A couple of years ago at the Players Championship, we were sponsoring Joe Eder, who at the time was the caddy for Patton Kizzire. Patton Kizzire and Joe Eder got to number 17 at Sawgrass, the very famous par 3. And NBC shows every shot that everyone hits from 17. When Patton and Joe got there, Joe was wearing the Smoking Tom visor. Patton Kizzire had the Smoking Tom sticker on his yardage book. Our logo was prominently displayed on national television at the most iconic hole for 90 straight seconds as they went over yardage and wind, deciding what shot to hit. When Patton Kizzire struck the ball, he hit a heinous hosel rocket 40 yards right of the green and 40 yards short. One of the worst shots of his career. Pained us to see it. Within minutes, we were tagged in a bunch of stories showing the shot because our logo was so prominently displayed on national television. Ryan and I got on the phone with each other, and immediately both agreed, do not repost any of this. This is a extremely high moment for our brand. No, it's not Jason Day wearing the logo for 36 holes with Tiger Woods at the Masters. But for little old Nation Golf, this was massive. The highest moment for our brand exposure ever, but one of the lowest moments in Patton Kizzaire's career. And we decided we are not going to show off our company at the expense of a bad shot and an embarrassing moment for our guy, Patton Kizzire. What bothers me about the Malbon thing is they crossed a line with Augusta. They used the Masters as a stage to break a rule and get clout. And instead of apologizing for it, they have reposted every single story that they're mentioned in across Instagram.
That tells you everything you need to know. This just proves my point, Adam. They are a marketing company. They are trying to create buzz. It's no different than a memes account or a golf babe with her out. They're trying to get the clicks. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings or if that sounds disrespectful to you, but it's the truth. And if you just put your fandom at bay for once, whether it's sports, false idols, brands, look, shake your pom-poms here and there. I get it. It feels good. I used to be like that too. But don't lose your vision of reality. You can still be a fan of Malbon Golf. You can still stand for the direction they're taking and be stoked on the success. But don't be so foolish as to not realize what's actually happening in front of your eyes. And you don't have to like all of it. The way in which they stole this moment on golf's greatest stage, you cannot like that and still like the brand. I was thinking maybe the dust was going to settle and they were going to like apologize in some cool streetwear kind of way. But seeing all those reposts last night of them just eating up the moment, I don't think that's coming.
I'm telling you right now, and we talked about it this morning, if we designed something that got the green jackets to ask our player to take it off,
my God,
the amount of shame and embarrassment that would wash over us is hard to quantify.
Mm-hmm.
And the very first thing we would do is call up some PR agency and say, how do we issue the world's greatest apology?
Yeah.
And by the way, we can predict every response coming our way.
Oh, yeah.
It's so easy. You're old. You're out of touch. You're jealous. You're jealous of Malbon.
Yeah. I'm jealous.
You're defending the worst parts of golf. That's funny. I feel like we're defending the Masters, which is the best part of golf. But we can predict the responses. You're welcome to send them our way. We invite them. Good chance we won't get back to them because we are on our way to the desert. And not a moment too soon, the Indian Wells member guest can't wait to be out there at your club trying to win our flight for the second year in a row and then take it one step further and win the whole damn thing. I know this. I am coming out as a guest. I will do everything in my power to respect the hell out of the club that is having me there.
God bless you.
And God bless you. And God bless everyone for listening. Thank you so much. We will catch you on Monday.